Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Walk in Favor Network. I am your host, Pastor K. Today, I am representing the Denver Broncos. They won their game, so I am repping. You win, and I rep, as I always say. Also, I want to remind you, please continue to journal. Do not stop using your journaling tactics because those techniques will help. Journaling is a tool that in other times when you may not think about it, we used to call it writing in a diary, but when you are journaling, it is therapeutic. So some of the things that you write down are things that you need to start working on and improving on and learning to heal from them. So please do not forget to journal. How are you doing? How y'all did with getting up 11 minutes earlier? I know this challenge is going to work. Please remember, start your morning off in praise and worship, thanking the Most High God for everything He's already done, good or bad. He done brought you through it. Now, I believe that you're going to see some changes in your life if you keep doing that. Now, my inspiration and my thought for today, just to give you a little information today. Here's a question. Have you ever thought to yourself or even said to someone else, the old version of me is gone? I'm not the same person I used to be. Have you ever said that? Have you ever thought that? Have you ever really sat down and thought about, I am just not the person I used to be? Something changed me. Has that ever happened to you? You're not the same person you once were. Now, several reasons may be behind this thought. Perhaps you have said this because of a significant life-changing event or a traumatic event. Finding out you have an end-stage illness will change who you are. Grieving the loss of a loved one. You might be an empty nester now. You might be retired now. You might be dealing with a milestone birthday. Something has triggered this change in you. You've sat and you've watched a lot of your classmates transition. So a lot of things has gotten thought-provoking, and you realize, you know what? The person I was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 6 months ago, I'm just not that person no more. You find yourself like, I just can't deal with nonsense anymore. Is it that you can't or you choose not to? I like to say, I choose not to deal with this anymore. I'm not the same person. The things that we dealt with when we was in our 20s, you shouldn't be going through this in your 50s. You should not be compromising who you are or squishing or diminishing yourself just to be around certain people. When you're grieving the loss of someone very significant in your life, you can't be the same anymore. Because for that day, as I said, I think a few weeks ago, when you take that walk, your life is never the same anymore. You know something? Whatever your reason is, you are not the same anymore, and that's okay. That's okay. Stop beating yourself up. And when people say you've changed, well, sometimes change is good. You change sometimes for the better. Some people say that, oh, you're different now. You done changed, and no, you're different now because you're not letting people walk on you anymore. You're not letting people use you anymore. You're different. You've had an epiphany. I keep saying this in several videos. You cannot allow people to just not know their boundaries and just walk all over you and mistreat you and mishandle you, because that bitterness start building up inside of you, and it's like you walk around with this anxiety. No, you don't have to do that anymore. You can either learn how to leave people where they are, and you got to leave some things behind so you can move forward and live a good life, have a good quality of life. Let me be transparent here just for a moment. I'm not the same anymore. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person, certainly not the same person I was 10, 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I'm not the same person probably in the past 3, 4 years. Just things have happened and I'm just not the same anymore. Even the past 6 months. When you go through life and you're dealing with, even if it's an illness or what have you, you have time to reflect and look back, as the older people used to say. When I look back over my life and I start to think things over, it's just certain things, I'm not the same. You don't want to waste your time anymore, and be all right with that. I like to draw from this scripture in the New Testament, Colossians. This is a scripture a lot of people don't use much, but Colossians chapter, let's say chapter 1, and between verses 9 and verses 12. You can read that at your leisure, but it addresses this very issue that I'm talking about. And it's saying we got to ask God to give us knowledge of his will and give us spiritual wisdom and understanding. Why is this important in this scripture? Because when we start feeling this way, I'm different, I've changed, I'm not the same, it lets you know that a shift has occurred in our mindset, our mental health, our emotions. There's been a shift and I've changed. But the shift or the change is not necessarily a bad thing, but we must always consult God and say, Lord, what is your will for me now? Because where I was, I can't go back there. What do you have me to do? Help me with this process, this transition I'm going through. You've got to always remember to consult the Most High God. And you know something? Let me be clear and very clear about this. Change is good. Sometimes we need to evolve. We need to grow. And we got to leave some bad habits we got, some thoughts, some bad thoughts we have. We got to leave that junk behind. And more importantly, some people have to be left behind because they're holding you back. They're a hindrance to you. They are where they are in life. They never want to go any further than where they are. And sometimes you've got to know when to ride the elevator and say, you know what, this is the floor I get off on because I can't ride this with you anymore. And be okay with that, because in life we must grow. That is why in school each year you get promoted to another grade. You go higher. You don't be 20 years old and you still in first grade. Something is wrong if that is the case. So it comes a time in your life, in all of our lives, when seasons change. And sometimes the seasons change for the better. No longer choose to waste your time anymore. Change is good and it is all right. And don't feel guilty about that. Don't worry about what people say about you. Don't worry about who liked the new you. Do you like the new you? It doesn't change the fact that growth is good. Now, you got to find peace, something that gives you peace. Your mind got to have peace of mind. One of the worst things in life is to not have no peace. So get yourself focused, find some balance, and protect your peace at all costs. And it's all right to change, to evolve, and to grow. Love yourself enough to decide, I'm not going to deal with stuff and mess anymore. I want to be happy and I want to have a good quality of life. I don't want to deal with nonsense and walking around wasting my time on people or things that's going absolutely nowhere. Be okay with change. Y'all be blessed, be well, and I'll see you back tomorrow with your midweek word. Don't forget, like the video, share it with other people, comment, subscribe if you have not. Follow me on all platforms. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So please come back to YouTube and hit the thumbs up button. Y'all watch as well as pray. I'll see you back tomorrow. Go Denver Broncos.